What's up, you guys? I hope all is well with y'all today. We get ready to chop it up about this good old holy grail because it's just certain things that I just don't understand. And me as a person who seeks understanding about everything, because I like to see, I'll be trying to figure out why things are the way it is. And me being like this, it was nothing, this was just what God has instilled in me from youth, just being very curious. And through my curiosity, I didn't stumbled upon my faith. I didn't guilt my relationship with God. He didn't lead me to this Bible. He didn't lead me to the truth about why we as the Black community suffer so hard, why we are the most hated. It all is revealed in the text. And I really, I woke up out of my sleep at 4:00 this morning. Mind you, the girl, I don't wake up for nothing unless I'm waking up to take my daughter to the bathroom or something like that. I be sleeping good. But I was supposed to do this video yesterday. And one thing about God is when he wants you to do something, there's going to be no rest in your spirit. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up about the Bible, because people always want to question it. And obviously most of y'all who watch me, y'all believe in the Bible because y'all know I won't always refer to something about the Bible, and I'm going to talk about God. That's just what it is. Because I know that the Bible is law, it's truth, it's our history. It's the one book that everybody should have, that everybody should be reading for your guidance, for your basic instructions before leaving Earth. It's this book. And people like to act like this is, it's made by the white man, is this and is that. And so God was putting on me yesterday to do the video, but because I was doing all this other stuff, I didn't get around to doing a video. But early this morning in my spirit, I was awakened, and as soon as I opened my eyes, before I could even open my eyes, I was just thinking about this. I'm like, people always talk about the Bible. My spirit was disturbed because I'm like, people always acting like because the white man wrote the Bible that it's not law, that changes the word of God, no matter who wrote it. No matter who wrote it. And my whole issue with this is because the white man, as far as I'm concerned, the white man that created everything that we use. The very phone that you watching me on, the very TV that you watching me on, the very job that you go to that you waiting on a paycheck. You waiting on a paycheck from the white man, from a white man's corporation. That's who you waiting on. The food you stuff your face with. Who's producing that? Who's doing the farming? Because we're not doing it. We're not doing it. I can already feel, I want to calm down because I already feel me getting passionate. And when I'm getting loud, y'all, it's not because I'm yelling and trying to be aggressive. It's passion, because I just can't believe our people are this slow. I can't believe it, especially us. It's a difference if them folk doing it, them other ethnicities are doing it. It's one thing for them to do it, but for us to sit here, the one people who don't read, who they make a mockery of us because we don't read. For us to sit here and say, oh, this is made by the white man, or we only supposed to read New Covenant. We're going to get into that too. Because I saw a comment or something from some girl. It wasn't under my comments, but it was under an Israelite video that I had came across. And, everybody got their opinions, beliefs, whatever. It don't really matter what you believe if it ain't true to what God said and what it really is. It don't matter what you believe. You can think that my nails is purple, but if I tell you that they blue, they blue. If God said this is blue, this is blue. It don't matter what you think. But at the end of the day, everybody is entitled to their own opinions, but God speaks truth. Like he said, I'm the Lord and I speak truth. And the spirit of truth is what's on me. And I'm here to display God's truth and deliver the word and message of God to our people. So we can understand that this book that you say is made by the white man, it has your history in it. The reason they tell you not to read Old Covenant is because they don't really want you to know who you are. They don't want the truth to be revealed about these wicked synagogues, these churches that y'all go to and run to and idolize these pastors, when God been said, you are to have no gods before me. You put more faith in human than man. God said to never put more confidence in man than him. But yet, you'll sit here and condemn this word when majority of the people who say that, you never read it. I know you never read it because you wouldn't spew that BS out your loose lips if you really read this. If you really read it with comprehension, with understanding, and like he already said in Hosea, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Even they know we don't read, we don't comprehend, we don't read the fine print. Like our artists, these rappers and all that get signed into BS deals because you don't read, or even you read it, you didn't understand it. Or either you just so money hungry, you willing to do anything except go to God to deliver you. We don't understand that the plagues that's on us, the suffering that our community go through, do y'all think that, and then y'all sit here and question this stuff. You sit here and question and be mad at the world and mad and upset because of the way that other people treat us, because we at the bottom, because we the tail of everybody. Even though we really know we really have so much more within us. We know we the vibe in a way, but we don't really have true confidence in us because we don't even know who we are. We don't have no identity because we're so busy trying to fit into other people's identity, other people's likeness. We're so busy trying to conform and be like everybody else when we were set apart. We are not them. So when y'all spew this nonsense out your mouth, speaking this word salad, and then your only what is the word I'm looking for? Your only basis of, I don't even know if that's the word, but the only basis you have of your only reasoning for saying that to trying to debunk this whole entire book is because either you had a bad experience in church and you think that even your pastors read this. A lot of your pastors haven't read this. They going to theology school, once again, learning from the white man. How you listening to the pastor who may be our color, maybe not. You listening to their teaching. You're listening to Gentiles teach you about your God. Does that even make sense? How you gonna let a Gentile teach you about your God? How you gonna let a Gentile convince you because they don't have understanding of the book that was only made for one group of people, which is you? How you gonna let them tell you that this ain't real, or because it's the way that they're acting out in their churches, in their life, make you feel like God ain't real, make you feel like his word ain't real? How you gonna let them people change your belief? How you gonna let them people keep you from learning the truth, the all-knowing, the one book that they even use to guide them? If you read this book, you cannot tell me you read this book and don't understand that everything going on in our life, in politics, and within religion, within our food industry, within the plagues, the sicknesses, the illness, you cannot tell me that you don't understand where this stuff come from if you haven't read the book. You can't tell me that you don't know where they got this stuff from. You can't tell me we are living this book out, but you would not know it if you don't read it. You don't even understand that we're living it out because you have not read it. The book of Kings and Chronicles alone is everything that's going down within the wars. Where do you think they're getting this stuff from? They're literally living out this same thing. We're living this out. It ain't just me. I told y'all the one reason I know the Bible is real because I'm living it. I'm living it. You cannot tell me that it's not real. You cannot tell me that this isn't the word of God. You cannot tell me. Yes, have people translated it and in translation, they didn't got things misconstrued and they just took out stuff and added stuff? Yes, because I told y'all I read from New International Version and KJV version. When I'm reading my book, doing my Bible study, I got KJV is this one. And I got the NIV right up here on the screen every time I'm reading. So you can't tell me that there ain't no switching out of names, ain't no switching out of a lot of stuff. They'll take a whole fragment out. You can't tell me. I believe, was it John? I don't know if it was 1 John or John chapter 5, verse 7. That alone has been completely taken out of the NIV version, but it's still in the KJV. So I understand when people say, "Oh, it's been translated so much." That don't mean that still ain't the word. Y'all believe everything else. You make the white man rich every day by your overconsumption of everything. You make the white man rich. You on the white man internet all day. You wake up and swear by your phone. That's the first thing you do when you wake up, before you even pray, before you even be thankful for being able to wake up today, before you even pray over you and your children's life or your loved one's life. You wake up and swear by the phone that the white man made. You make that same white man richer and richer and richer. And you don't use the phone to produce no content of your own, to make no money of your own. You only use it to consume, not to produce, like black people do. Slothfulness. You go to a job every day and you conform to a white man's code of conduct. You send your children to an indoctrination camp every day that's teaching you from books history that has been whitewashed. But it's okay for you to keep sending them there, though. It's okay for you to want to move into their areas. You want to do everything else like the white man, but the book that's so-called written by the white man, who else gonna do it? Because black people are lazy. You don't want to do nothing except get high, get drunk, have all type of sex parties, and that's a turn up and eat. That's all black people want to do. We don't really want to work. Our men don't want to lead, which is what got us into this mess in the first place. Like we talked about videos back about slavery was a choice when Kanye said that. But we want to find every reason why the Bible's not real. The Bible was written by the white man. Everything about your existence is made by the white man. Look around your house pool. Black people ain't make that. Now, of course, we know our people that had inventions and all of that stuff, but this day and age right here, who's producing and who's consuming? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Who's getting rich off of us? Who's paying us? The reason you're able to have everything you have today, who's paying that? The white folk. They giving you jobs. Then God is allowing all this because, like I said before, God is the source of everything. So giving all this credit to the white man is doing us a disservice. God has allowed, this is biblical too, that he has allowed Edom, he's allowed them to take over, to have reign, because we neglected him. He never left nor forsake us, but we switched up because we're not loyal. And then black people you be the same one. Y'all wonder why there's no loyalty in our community. Why we so divided? Let me hold up. What that scripture was that I was literally just reading about this. Y'all wonder why there's no loyalty amongst us? Y'all are not loyal to you're not loyal to the Lord your God who created you, who chose you out of all the peoples, for you are the fewer people, and he chose you. We are the ones that's living out the curses of Deuteronomy 28, not them fake ones, them fake. That's us. That's our story. They trying to steal our likeness, our story. When they ain't going through what we going through, they the ones that's ruling everything. Truth be told, why you think that you get like Kanye for speaking out the truth? They called it y'all know. This video might end up getting flagged, whatever. I don't even care because it ain't about the monetization. It's about the truth. It's about the truth. But like it says here, if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. We are our own kingdom. We are our community. And it says if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Y'all wonder why we so broken, why we cannot come together for nothing, why other people can come from their countries and come over here broke as ever and can start dominating our communities. We make the Chinese rich. We make everybody rich because we are consumers and we're divided. We still suffer from Willie Lynch syndrome like I've done in those videos. We're still not understanding our roles. We still won't play our part. Yet we wonder why there's so much suffering. We won't follow the laws. Y'all say, oh, we get ready to get into that. Y'all say we got to do away with old covenant. Says who? You listen to a priest? You listen to a pastor tell you that? Who told you that? Jesus, and then you say you believe in Jesus and you a Christian, a man-made religion, but even Jesus himself, your God, Jesus, because my God is the most high, and let's be clear about that. Jesus is not my God. Do I believe in Jesus and what his mission was? Yes, because he speaks facts. As I read it, I just be like, you can't deny that he was the Messiah. You can't deny that he came to save people. But once again, our people don't want to be saved. Our people are foolish. What's that little proverb that say? You better off, if you try to catch a fool in they wickedness, you better off trying to steal a bear from their cub than to try to, steal a cub from they mama bear or something like that, than to try to catch a fool in their wickedness. Fools despise wisdom. Fools despise correction. They despise the truth. But am I your enemy? Like it say, am I your enemy because I speak the truth? That's why people hate the truth tellers. They call you crazy because they have been conditioned. They have conformed to nonsense called tradition, which is ludicrous, lies, deception. Like it says, if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Y'all wonder why we can't stand together, why we can't come together to do nothing, why our relationships, why we can't even get on one page to even begin to catch up in the 400-year wealth gap that we missing out on. Why we can't even begin to stand together to take back our land, to take back what's ours. We're not even loyal. We're not loyal to each other, to God. Y'all wonder why it's so much strife. God plants these evil spirits in different ones of us for us to cause this iniquities on each other, for us to cause pain on each other, because he said there will be no rest for the wicked. And you are deemed as wicked when you don't believe in him. And to believe in someone, because if you believe in God, if you believe, there's trust. When you believe in somebody, it's because you trust them. You're loyal to them. That's what faith is. Faith is not only believing that it is real, that it exists, that God exists, that the Spirit is still dwelling amongst us. It's not only believing in that, it's being obedient to that. It's having trust, being loyal. And when you loyal, you do what's right when nobody looking. You have conviction and you move off of it versus wanting to still carry out your own wicked ways and your own selfish things that you like to do because it make you feel good, but it really ain't doing you no good. You don't care about who else is suffering. You don't even care about the fact that your own self is suffering. Because you can't have a death of the ego and humble yourself before the Lord. Can't even humble yourself amongst each other. Parents can't humble themselves to their kids because they feel like I am this and you're here. But then when these kids don't deal with you no more, or when your family members don't deal with you no more, or when your parents, because you're a wicked child and your parents don't deal with you no more, then you questioning all this, all that. People ain't being loyal to people that continue to show that they are snakes, to show that they will stab you in the back if given a chance. We backstab one another. We will climb on one another to get to the top. Like we always say, our community has the crab in a barrel mentality. You don't care who you step on so you can come up. You don't care who you snake out. And y'all wonder why we can't grow, why we can't thrive, why we can't come together. Why we can't build back up our own Black Wall Street, our own communities. We got to escape out of our communities to go into other people's communities, to live a decent life so nobody won't rob from us, steal from us. But yet, y'all don't like the book that the white man made. But when given a chance, you ready to climb out of your own neighborhoods to go live amongst the white man. Our men, when they get to the top, don't believe in a book that's written by the white man, but you believe in sleeping with his women, marrying his women, and breeding with his women to try to save their race. You okay with that, though? You okay with going out here getting them, the white man, being a sugar baby for him to get his money? You okay with believing in the white dollar, the man-made dollar, the man-made everything, the man-made bodies that y'all get, and then the men that obsess over these man-made bodies? That man-made stuff is okay, though. That's something to believe in, something to swear by. That's something that's important. That's something. It's okay for you to. It's okay for you to believe in that, though. Be for real. Y'all got to be for real. But like he said, the kingdom is divided against itself. That kingdom cannot stand. We're divided amongst one another. We're divided. Of course we can't stand. Of course we can't climb. The whole mission is to keep us divided. Go back and watch my Willie Lynch syndrome videos. The Willie Lynch series videos. It was a 4-part video. If you watched it, you know what we talk about. This is what we talked about. How they use our hair texture, our features, our color, our level of intelligence to keep us separated, hating, having envy to one another. How they did the house slave versus the in-house, the house slave versus the field slaves, causing all these problems, comparing us to make us despise one another, to make us not trust one another. So if you don't trust, when you don't trust, you can't come together for the greater good. When you don't work with one another, how can you prosper? One person is going to always be pulling somebody else down. You can't come, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. And y'all wonder why we always gonna be in lack. Why we gonna keep suffering. Y'all wonder why. I mean, it's ridiculous. But now, let's go on to this covenant thing. Because we're gonna read, because y'all like to say, and when like I said, I don't even know if I said it, but when I say y'all, if the shoe fit, wear it and wear it well. But if it don't apply, let it fly. Because I ain't talking to you. I'm just talking to whoever, because this video might not only reach the people that subscribe to me, my normal folk that be watching. We're gonna, because I saw somebody say, oh, Jeremiah, because people like to debunk Old Testament. How can you have, first of all, if you, like, I haven't read all the New Testament, but I've skimmed through about every book of the Bible for the most part. Even the ones that they don't talk about much, like Ezra and all that. And I actually want to read Ezra too, because it's about understanding the divide, the scattering. I told y'all I'm working on that. I'm working on really trying to map this thing out. And the whole Bible, it gives it all. It gives it all. Plus the books that was removed from the Bible. It gives the whole tea on the scattering. And we know why we were scattered. For idolatry. For forsaking the Lord our God who chose us. We wonder why we don't have identity. We don't have our identity. We don't even have our own language. And like I told y'all in that Willie Lynch video, I hate the fact that we don't have our own language. No, y'all, and then some people, these Oreos, y'all know what we mean when we say the Oreos, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And that's even something that I'm learning within this Bible, because all black people ain't Israel. All black, well, because not even black people. Because like they say, we ain't black. We brown skin color folk. Melanated people. Our skin in itself is worth more than gold. Melanin is worth 400 grams. Worth 400 grams, worth more than gold. Why do you think they do the stuff they do with our organs? Why do you think they do the stuff that they do? And really, it's the spirit that's within us, which we get ready to get to. But this is it's just a mess, because it's just sad to me that we are so lost in the sauce, and we so brainwashed. We so brainwashed. When you allow yourself to be led by anybody other than God, anybody can lead you astray. Like I always tell y'all, you don't even just take my word for it. You go read yourself. You take it to God yourself. You don't sit around relying on no pastor. You don't sit around relying on no teachers. You don't sit around relying on the government. You don't sit around relying on nobody to fill you up with wisdom, because the wisdom comes from the Lord. He will lead you to the books. That's why you can't tell me this ain't real, bruh. I didn't grow up in this. So for me to be lit, I just said that to me while I was just sitting on the toilet reading. I said, I can't believe I be reading the Bible. I can't even believe this is my life. I did not know that when God was telling me to move to Texas, that I was coming here to start doing this. Even though he had me to order this book and take this book with me, I left everything behind. You cannot try to do away with Old Testament. Old Testament, yeah, we might not have to do burnt, like those type of burnt offerings, but we still have to make offerings, which is sacrifices, sacrificing things that you love, things that you attach to, your family, your things. I sacrifice a lot just to come here to learn my purpose, just to get into this, just to be up here talking to you. I sacrifice me just period, want to be an introvert, be ducked off. But I sacrifice that because I got to be obedient and get up here and talk. I don't care to be known. I don't care to be on social media, posting up. Man, I don't care about none of that. If it was up to me, I'd rather get my money behind the scenes, duck off like I really want to, get my estate, be ducked off to myself, me and my kids. But I can't. Because I got to get up here and get on social media and stuff and spread the news, spread the truth. Because ain't nobody else willing to speak it. Some people know, and they speaking it. I had no clue that this was going to be my life. I gave up so much. I sacrificed a lot. So don't tell me that we don't supposed to still do stuff that's in Old Testament. Because I'm living it. I'm living it. I ain't speaking on nothing that I ain't living. I'm living this out. The same way God told Abraham to leave his hometown, to leave where he know, and go to a strange land where you're going to be a stranger and I'm going to give you that land. God told me to leave your hometown. Leave this area that you know. Leave things behind. You're going to get new stuff. But so many of us want to hold on tight to things that's stunting our growth. That's stunting us from answering our calling. And then you wonder why you walk around not feeling fulfilled in life. Because you won't get with the one who created you. But he knew you when you was formed in your mama womb, before he formed you in the belly, like I say in Jeremiah. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Before you even could open your eyes and see, before you even came out your mama cooch or out her stomach, however way she had to have you, before then, I already had a purpose over your life. You was already ordained to be a prophet, to go out and speak against this wickedness, to go out here and speak up. This is why you are the truth teller, if you're the truth teller. Everybody, obviously, we live in a world full of demon seeds because Satan is the father of lies. So everybody ain't. But even with them, there's a gift that he put in everybody. People wonder why they don't feel fulfilled in life. Why we got to do all of these things to cope. It's because we're not close with the Father. We don't have a relationship with the Creator. You looking for relationships from everybody else, loyalty from everybody else. God will never allow you to have a loyal person by your side when you can't even be loyal to him. He is a jealous God. He is a jealous God. Do you think he gonna allow you to have peace and he not included in your life? You think you're not gonna have no mishaps and you don't even include him? Even when you do, you still, because it's things that you must learn. Life is about learning. If you never stop learning, you always remain a student in life. And when you stop learning, you stop growing, which is why we have a bunch of 2-year-olds in 50, 30, 60, 80-year-old bodies who ain't never developed here, who never had a true renewal and transformation of the mind. But yeah, y'all read this book though. In the New Testament, didn't he say, do not be conformed by the world, but have a complete renewal of the mind? Y'all can't even renew your mind because you don't seek wisdom. You don't seek a relationship with God for him to give you the wisdom. You don't learn from your experiences. You think that things can never be you. You think that it's everybody else's fault why things are happening to you. You don't understand that things are happening for you and not to you. And when you think like that, you can never grow because you're the victim in every situation. God is the only victim in this situation when it comes to our community because he chose us. He still covers us. He still blesses us. He still makes sure we go. We have what we need, even if we don't have everything we want. That's what we get ready to get into reading this new promise. Because what y'all refer to as, and you do away with the old covenant, we're going to break it down because y'all be talking foolishness out your loose lips, bro, and I just can't take it. And once again, this only applies to the people that do it. Oh, you do away with the old covenant. Matthew taught a lot of them. When I read this crap here, not crap, but when I read this, bruh, they keep talking about Old Testament. Jesus talking about Moses. Like, how do you, like, where is the comprehension lacking? And then a lot of the people who say this stuff about the Bible, this, that, no, you don't even read. You can't even understand when that dude don't even like you for real. You can't even understand when that woman only around you just to use you and she don't like you either. Of course y'all can't understand. You couldn't understand when you was in grade school. Couldn't understand the teacher then. You couldn't understand at home with your parents when they telling you 1 apple plus 1 apple equals how many, Johnny? You can't understand that. You can't understand nothing. Because you don't want to. Because your ego, because your mind is focused on things that are futile. That means nothing. You focus on things that's only causing you to self-destruct. That's what we be focused on, bruh. It's crazy to me. Our men, our little hood dudes, y'all swear by the strap. That once again, who is making them? Who's making those little guns that you like to play with? That you're willing to take your mama out, take your girlfriend out. I mean, look on Viral Crimes, look on Twisted Crimes. Ain't even got to look on there. When you lived in those environments, you know what's going on. You know what's going on in the cities. You know what's going on. White man made that lube that y'all love to sit in there and do the beat your meat. Don't get me talking about what the white man made. But you swear by that, but you can't swear by this because the white man made it. But when you know God and you know his word, you hear it, like you feel it, it hits you. And a lot of y'all who say that this ain't real, it's because you don't have understanding. And even sometimes you might do, and because it convicts you when you read it, it feel like it's talking to you and it humbles you. It causes you to have to turn your goofy down. You don't like that. You don't like the truth. Because you think that you don't supposed to follow no rules and regulations of the Lord. But yet you willing to follow the rules and regulations of these jobs, these corporations. Some people don't even want to follow those. Shoot, I know I don't like following those either. All of them. But you willing to conform for that. You willing to miss out on your children's best years to go chase after the white man dollar, working slaving for the white man while he on vacation. He ain't missing none of his children's things. They on yachts. The people that y'all making rich, they on yachts right now, sitting up there plotting on how they can keep us divided. They in their boardrooms plotting on how to keep us from getting loans, to get houses, to get land, how to make things harder for us, to keep us out of our own industries like the Chinese do. Yeah, we making them rich. But yet, child, let's read this right quick. This video going. Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 40. I might not read the whole thing, but I want to talk about this new covenant, old covenant stuff, because y'all really be saying this. Like, who told you that? The devil is a lie. Who told you that you are to do away with Old Testament? That is, and then they said that Jeremiah 31, verses 30, they say that this is what says that. Let's read it. Let's read it. It says the new promise. Y'all know I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm reading out a KJV version. And even if you read out of NIV, shoot. It says, or whatever version you read out of. Behold. And that's another thing that I really is in my agenda for this year is to learn Hebrew. I really want to learn Hebrew, learn how to read it, understand it, speak it fluently. So I can read the original books. We have been stripped from our own language. And then y'all be mad that some of us speak Ebonics and all of that. What can we have? Why can't we have anything of our own? Why can't we have our own names? Why are our names ghetto? Why can't we have anything of our own? Why do we have to be so whitewashed that if our name isn't Sarah, Jimmy, Seth, why do we have to have those names? Why can't we have nothing of our own? A lot of the names that's even in this Bible is unique names. Why can't we have unique names? Why is it, if it's not corporate accepted, why is it a problem with it? We have been so whitewashed. Why can't we have our own language? I told y'all that in the Willie Lynch series video. I be jealous of the fact that everybody got their own language. They can speak in code to one another. I also want to learn Spanish too and increase my sign language skills. I already know some sign language because my grandmother is deaf. So growing up, I learned sign language, but because I stopped being around her that much, I wasn't around her that much. Not fluent with it or nothing. So I really do want to get better with that, because you open yourself, the more you learn, the more skills you obtain, the more you're able to accomplish certain things, the more you can get out of poverty, but when you stop being a student and when you feel like, oh, I went to school, I graduated high school, or even if you feel like, oh, I found the little hustle, I do hair, so now I make enough money, I don't have to learn. But when you stop learning, and then when you don't have God in your life, and you don't know how to listen to your discernment that is a gift from the Lord, you're going to always be doing yourself a disservice. Because so what if you make a bunch of money? You make a bunch of money, but you can't even write up a contract. Or you can't even understand a contract when presented with a deal. You can't even read the fine print. And then when somebody take advantage of you, you mad at them versus being mad at yourself for not reading the fine print, not understanding the fine print. You got to rely on somebody else's knowledge or lack thereof for you. You got to really put trust into others who may deceive you or not. It's just a chance, a risk that you're taking, but you have to put your trust in somebody else because you don't want to learn nothing for yourself. You never stop learning. There's always learning to do. It don't mean you have to go back to school. You could get online, order books. Y'all will read every other book that's written by the white man. Y'all actually spew words out your mouth that's written in the Bible. Gatekeeper, that's the Bible. That's Bible words. That's Bible lingo. Gatekeepers. The more I read, I be like, everything starts from the Bible. Everything starts with God. The towns you live in, my hometown, Fort Washington, reading the Bible is what's teaching me about the importance of land, the historic prevalence of land, certain areas, geography. This book teaches that. This book teaches you everything. The fortresses, they talk about fortresses and fenced cities and all of this stuff. Yet y'all don't understand when Trump was talking about building a wall. This stuff come from the stuff they did long before his butt was even born. When you name your child Junior, when you get these circumcisions, when y'all circumcise your sons, y'all don't even know why you circumcise your sons. Do you know why you circumcise your sons? That was a covenant that was made between God and Abraham, the father of so-called religion. We do stuff and don't understand where it come from. That was the covenant. Let's go ahead and get into it. Because y'all know I can go on and 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 on. But like I prayed before this video, God lead me. You convicted me. You woke me up early out of my sleep this morning. Use me. Use me. I need to cancel my appointment. I got a appointment I'm supposed to go to, and let me hurry. But I need to cancel that appointment. Hold on. Let me pause this video. I'll be right back to read this. I gotta call and cancel that appointment because I can't go to that appointment. I gotta do this. I'm so like I got rescheduled for Friday. Because this is really heavy on me. It's heavy on me. And we sit around and complain and want pity and want to go out and do dumb marching that don't be doing nothing because y'all sit and go after you finish marching. You go right back at home and go back to your wicked ways. Go back to all your idolatry. It'd be like, ugh. Like I saw somebody in one of the comments, they say there's no hope for our community. And I really just be having so much hope for us. Because God said in his word that we will. But maybe that's not during this time. Maybe it's going to take for generations down the line. Because I sometimes be like, I could be doing other things. Why do you really? It's like I do want to advocate because I am an advocate for what's right. But sometimes I do be like, man, our people are, every time I get on like TikTok or see, it's just like every time I get off of doing my own video, and when I get online, because I don't be online a lot, but when I do get on and see once again some, especially like on TikTok, it's some good stuff on TikTok though. And when I get on Instagram, and when because I don't be around nobody, but even when I go out into the world, but most times, you know, I don't see a lot of black people where I live at. So, and I don't go nowhere else, but right around my area, I don't be nowhere. But when I just do see the black people online, and I know about how it used to be when I was living in Baltimore and stuff like that, I just be like, child, are we really ever going to really get it? Are we really ever going to want to change? Are we ever really going to want to elevate? Are we ever really going to break this division that we have and come together under righteousness, under morals? Are we going to understand why we are the way we are? Are we going to stop sitting up here on these podcasts talking this nonsense when this is a spiritual demon that's on our community? It's a spiritual thing. The strife between man and woman in our community, mothers, daughters, sons, the family. This is a spiritual attack. This is a spiritual thing. This ain't nothing about the white man or none of that for real, because God used them to do this or to cause this calamity to fall upon us. Read your Bible. It tells you. They're actually more faithful to God than we are because they do what God told them to do. God told them to punish us. And after that, they punish us, destruction is going to come to them too. But you don't even read Old Testament. Hold on. Let me make this call, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to go ahead and read about New Covenant, Old Covenant. So hold on. All right, y'all. I'm back with the jump off. But all right, I'm actually calmed down a little bit now. But I might turn up again. And you know, it's just because I'm just mad. One thing about me is when I see potential in somebody, it makes me so mad at them if they don't live up to that potential. And it could be, it's not even that I'm idealizing them, because I mean, I see it in you. But a lot of times people that have potential to be something greater, they don't want to be, or they don't believe that they can be within themselves. And this is just how I feel about our community. I'm like, we have it in us. We were designed to be the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower. We're not, it's not our fate to just be at the bottom, to watch everybody around us win, to watch them have, like, it's not, it's, and it make me mad. Make me mad that we cannot humble ourselves and get ourselves together individually. It really takes work and it takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight. This is why you have to be intentional and disciplined with what you're doing every single day to completely change and transform. You have to be mindful of what you consume daily for you to change. So there's no real way that it's like, that's why I be like, can our community really change? You know, because people are lazy. We don't want to do the work. Our men don't want to really lead. Not to say all of them. I shouldn't even be in position. Like, I'm not even supposed to really be the one up here talking this. Hey, man, our men is supposed to be doing this. But when our men sit back on their gifts, when they don't have the self-esteem that they need to have, when they so busy trying to fit into the white man narrative, when they feel inferior to the white man because of the history of the relationship dynamic between the white man and the black man, and you sit there and conform, we are strong. Like, look at the go to the Willie Lynch series video. They had to cause this division amongst us because of our strength. They had to break us down. They had to break you down. How do you break anybody down? Women, we know how we get broken down in relationships when we with demon seeds. You get with a demonic man that wants to dumb you down, wants to manipulate you. Act like they get with a beautiful woman and want to convince her, like, point out all her flaws and hurt her so bad so that she cannot feel pretty about herself, because they don't feel pretty about, well, not pretty, but they don't feel like they good looking. They don't feel good about themselves. They don't like that you feel like you can do more, and they don't like when you want to do more, because our black men are so content. Men, period. Discontent with being. They don't feel like, a lot of men don't really fear God. Why do you think it's more women in the church than men? They really feel like that they were made in God's image. They are God. So of course they don't have to submit to a higher power. Of course. I am God. I have the God complex myself. Yes, you were made in his image. And when you really know God, you just see. As I'm sitting here working on my little book that I'm working on, as I be writing this, like, as I'm sitting here, even when I'm just talking to God or when I'm reading, and I know how God is, like, when you think about how God is with us, when you really know God, to believe in God and to know him, like, you can believe in his existence, but not really know him. It's like knowing of him, but not really knowing him. when you have a religion and you don't have a relationship, and especially when he ain't take you through the motions, baby, when you have not completely surrendered your life to him, you might not know God like you think you know him. Because, baby, man was definitely made in his image. Because they act just like him. The whole testing of faith. If Abraham, the father of religion, which he is the father of religion, but religion, like I said, different, and really even with that, it's like still based on Abraham principles, his sons, him and his sons. Because just like they say, Muslim is Ishmael. They follow after Ishmael. And obviously Jacob, come from Isaac, which comes from Abraham. So basically the Christian faith, or like I tell you, I'm not no Christian. I don't put myself in no box. Baby, I know I'm a child of God. I'm a faithful servant of the Lord, the Most High God, period. That's the one who called me up. That's the one who raised me up and continued to raise me up. That's the one. I ain't never go to no theology school. I ain't never go to no church to learn what I know. God himself put me in this position. So even sometimes when I begin to question stuff, that's why I say, like, I can't even really follow a lot of like the spiritual community stuff. Can't get with them. Religion, like, can't get with them. They don't even know. Like, when I see some of the practices, I just be like, it just, and they will say, because I saw something earlier that was like the Hebrew Israelites, like a cult and all of this crap and all of this. It's a bloodline. It's a bloodline. The same way, and to me, Christianity is a cult. The fact that I saw the girls, like, and this was some white women that's in the Christian faith, because of my Instagram page that I do like post the scriptures and stuff. And then on the homepage, it's like the algorithm will feed you based on like your content that you do or that you watch or something. And I just saw like a reel, the girls going like this. Like, what do y'all? This is Molech. This is demonic. This is what Molech does. I already told y'all in them other videos. To me, Christianity is the cult. All this mess is the cult. Celebrating pagan holidays that don't got nothing to do with the Lord, nor do it got nothing to do with Jesus. Don't got nothing to do with him. But doing this, seeing them doing this is Molech. This is what Molech does. The god of child sacrifice. When you offering your children up to that demonic entity, this is what they do. Molech holds his hands out, and you hold your hand out like this with the baby, offering the baby up to you. So if you be doing this, this means you welcome in the demonic spirit into you. And we wonder why you be laying up with the enemy. The enemy be actually using you and all of this. We don't know what we doing because you in your cult, in y'all cult, y'all told to do this stuff. What is this? Like, child, it's just a mess. It's a mess. But let's read this right quick. So it said, the new promise, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. That alone, because this is what the girl said, and a lot I've seen, it wasn't even just her in those comments that I saw say that, because when people be like, oh, because Christians will be like, oh, we only supposed to read New Covenant, New Testament. Says who? Who told you that? Your demonic pastor told you that? Did he? Behold, it says, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. First of all, you must know who Israel and Judah is. This book was only made for the Israelites. It was not made for no one other than them. Read your book. But y'all don't read Old Testament, so how would you know? Samuel tells you. Exodus tells you. Deuteronomy tells you. The book of law, it was only meant for one group of people. Outsiders have taken the book because they wanted to know what the secret is. They want to know how to beat the game. They want to know. Samuel talks about this, and like I told you, I'm mapping out the movement of the Ark of Covenant because the Ark is what held our book in. Nowadays, this is the Ark, which we never really was supposed to even have this because only our priests were supposed to have this, and they were supposed to teach us the truth for us to follow the truth. So we didn't have to need this. But because our priests, too, began to be wicked, and then even just that, people stole it. Now, of course, it's available to the masses. Anybody can get their hands on it. But not everybody can get their hands on the original copies and stuff. But even if you don't have the original, just off of this, which is missing things, even this, by reading this, it's enough information in here that you know that this is law, this is real, this is what's real, this is the truth, because we're living this stuff out. And like I told y'all in those prophetic warning videos, y'all gonna see this very Bible play out. We already seen it. These plagues, the sickness that's on our community, that's another reason why I say, you know, this is us. Deuteronomy 28, as I was reading again yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, like, the inflammation, it says the plague is really like, you're gonna have inflammation. What are we suffering from? The plagues of diseases. Look at how our women, it's like a widespread effect of so many of our women having uterus issues with their ovaries. What's that thing called? Fibroids in your neck. You getting like all of this stuff. It's not by coincidence. And the one way you make God mad, like once again in the book, when you read this stuff, bruh, when you read Old Testament, even Asa, when Asa went to Human for help with how to defeat the other side, his enemies, when they was coming up against him and you went to them, God punished them for that. You supposed to go to the Lord your God. I'm the one, when you came to me last time, I delivered them into your hand and y'all defeated them because you came to me for advice on how to beat them. He ain't learned from that. Then God struck him with a disease. And even when he was sick, this is this is in 2 Chronicles chapter 15. Chapter 15, verse 1 through 9. I'm not gonna read it or nothing, but even then, it says, oh no, not chapter 2. Even in 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 12, Asa got sick and didn't see God, but he sought physicians. Go read that. Chapter 16, verses 12. Y'all need to read Old Testament. When you read this stuff, it's gonna humble you. It's gonna be like, wow. That's why when you got family that's battling cancer, you go race straight to the physicians. When you battling your own vaginal issues, you go straight to the physician without praying to God about it. And let him lead you to the right person. Let him lead you to maybe a holistic healer. You rely on the physicians whose only job there is to make you sick. Because if they heal you for real, then they won't be having jobs. They won't have jobs. They got to keep you sick. That's how they make their money, by keeping you coming back. But anyways, it said, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. He ain't say that with the Gentiles. He didn't say this is a covenant, a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, which is Israel and Judah are the 12 tribes. Israel is the 10 tribes. Judah is the tribe of Judah and Benjamin. They were under one house, Judah and Benjamin. And that's another thing that I'm probably talk about in another video. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But they are one. Well, they two separate tribes, but they basically under one house. They was all under the rule of Rehoboam. When everyone before the real scattering, God separated the tribes. We'll do a whole video. We're gonna be talking about this because this is the stuff that I'm getting together so that we can really I can do the actual videos strictly about that without me talking about so much stuff in one video. We're gonna have separate videos about this stuff. But this is only to who this book was made for. This book was not made for everybody. Everybody want to be all-inclusive. It ain't all-inclusive, baby. And people only want to be all-inclusive when it benefits them. But when you busy trying to leave other people out, it's okay. But now when something is leaving you out, so none of us can do this. No. Jesus even talked about that. Where's the verse that I have wrote down? He said, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. However, there was other people that needed him too. And because for one, God said, my people don't want to follow me, but there's these Gentiles, they would love to follow me. They was willing to be obedient. Why do you think these them fake ones, the fake Jews, these fake Jews, why do y'all think they really conform? Like they really do. They follow the law. They real. That's in Romans. I talked about that's in the playlist. I talked about that to y'all before. And I'm gonna actually do an updated one sooner than later. Sooner than later, I'm gonna do an updated one. When they were grafted in, they were fostered in, like the foster system. God is the Father had fostered other nations in because the one nation he chose didn't want him. They wanted what the nations had. They wanted to follow after the nations of after the gods of other nations. They didn't want his leadership. They didn't want to only rely on God. Like we read in Samuel, they don't only want him. They want kings like the other nations had. They want to be like everybody else, like the Black community does. We want to be like everybody else. We don't want to be exclusive. We want to fit in with them. We want to be welcomed into places that's not for us. Just like y'all do with the brands. Brands that be talking, that's clearly shown they're not for Black people, doing the blackface and all of this stuff. Y'all want to be included. You want to wear what they have. You want to be cool. So you don't care even if they're playing on your top. You don't even care about that because you want acceptance from them so bad. This is ludicrous. But this book was only for one group of people. He fostered in them other nations because they was willing to submit. They was willing to be obedient, something that we can't do. Because like he said, we're an unfaithful wife. We're adulterous wife to him. We're adulterous. We cheat on him with other gods, with other people. We put him last. But soon as those people that we cheat on him with do us wrong, then we want to come running crying back to him. How? But then you expect loyalty. You expect loyalty, but you're not loyal. It's utterly ridiculous. It says, so let me get through this because this video is long. It says, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband to them, said the Lord. Like I just said, although I was a husband to you, what is a husband's job to do? To lead you, provide for you, protect you, to properly lead. That's what God does. That's what he does. This is why he instilled it in man that was made in his image to do that very thing too. But we are the adulterous wife, the one who cheats. You got a good man, you got a good husband who cover you, but you want to go cheat on him for a feel-good moment. Not faithful. Soon as he don't do what you want, you ready to go out there and cheat. You ready to go look for the next highest bidder. But he said, so now according to the covenant that I made with their father. So what y'all have to break down these words. What does this mean? What does this mean? Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers. What was the covenant that he made with their fathers? Who are their fathers? Israel. God is the Most High. God is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel after he blessed him in the new land. Once he gave him a promise, he said, this is going to be your land. You're going to be a father to nations. Kings are going to come out of you. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. All Israel's children, the 12 children that he had, well, the 12 sons, because he had a daughter too, Dinah. And the covenant. What was the covenant with Abraham? The covenant with Abraham was circumcision. That's why I say, do y'all know why y'all circumcise y'all kids, bro? That's the covenant. Even if you have daughters, they was not allowed to give them away to men that wasn't circumcised. That's why even Simon and Levi. This is why Simon and Levi, when the men of Shechem, when I think it was Hamer, which is the men of Shechem, when they did that to stole the innocence of their sister Dinah, y'all know the R word. When they did that to her, they tricked them into getting circumcised. Because you know, once you get circumcised, you're in pain for a little bit. You're getting that extra flesh shit off you. Because you don't need all that extra flesh. Our flesh already get us into enough trouble. You don't need no extra flesh lingering around down there causing you to have all those feelings. Because they think down there already got enough feeling and ready to have it and got its own mind of its own, ready to do iniquities, ready to sin. That's just what the flesh do. But when they did that to Dinah and they chilled, you know, they was plotting their revenge on how they was going to get them back, because according to the law, if a man do this to your sister, anybody that touched your sister, your mother, like take their innocence, your daughters, you are to get it back in blood against them. That's the reason. That's even the reason why Levi, the pastors, why the Levites were chosen to be the leaders, to be the priests over Israel, over everybody. They were called because God saw them as faithful, as loyal, as trustworthy. Because they stood on business, for real. They stood on business. And the way that they got them Shechemites, they was like, well, if you want my sister, because y'all want my sister so bad, you really want her. Even after you did that, you want her. You want to take her and wife her now. You want to keep her. All right, we can't give our daughter and our sisters, we can't give them away to other nations unless those nations get circumcised. So they went and got circumcised, and while they was in pain, that's when Levi and Simon got it back in blood against them, because they was already weak. You know, it's like set up a trap for you. Let me easily be able to defeat you, catch you slipping, caught them slipping, and off with their head. And when they got it back in blood against them. That's the covenant, circumcision. That was the original covenant. Y'all don't even know what these words mean. A covenant is an agreement. Like these modern day terms, but I don't even do treaties. I don't even know if it's treaty now, but at prior in history, treaties, they come into agreement. Like this war going on now, eventually they're going to come into agreement. They're going to come into a covenant make an agreement. All right, you can have this, I can have this land. Fighting over land. But it says, not according to the covenant that I made with their father. So basically he's saying that they're not going to have to do circumcision anymore. So it says, not according to the covenant that I had made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke, although I was a husband to them, said the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. So what does this mean? The new covenant. This is what the new covenant is. Listen to what the new covenant is. So you no longer have to get the circumcision. Because doing the circumcision, that ain't do nothing. At least not the physical circumcision down here. Your hearts are now going to be circumcised. Your spirit is because my law is going to be in you. It says in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts. You're going to have a circumcision of the heart, which means you're going to cut off that wickedness of your heart. You're going to have principles, morals, and you're going to have integrity. You're not going to have to literally go back and have to read this law, all the repetition of various laws, because this stuff is going to be planted into your heart. And that's how he know who his righteous ones are. Because you know, based on these laws, there is just certain stuff you're not going to do. Like touching on children, misusing children, along with all the other stuff. You're going to be convicted of it. And so it says, after those days, says the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For they all shall know me. But they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Meaning, he said, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother. You don't got to teach everybody. You don't got to teach her. It's going to be in them. Because like he said, I instilled it in their inward parts. It ain't what's on you, it's what's in you. It ain't what's on you, it's what's in you. It got to be on you to have, it got to be in you to have good character. That ain't something that can be built. That's how he know his righteous ones from the other ones, because it's in you. You do what's right when nobody looking, because you got that conviction up in you. That Holy Spirit reside in you, dwell within you, because of your right, because you just feel you're not going to do certain things. It's not a part of your character to backdoor somebody, to step on people to get to the top, to take advantage of your own loved ones. It's what's in you. It's not what's on you, it's what's in you. It says, for they all will know the Lord, from the least of me to the greatest of them. Everybody. Even the Gentiles. It's because God has poured his spirit. Like he said in the last days, I will pour my spirit onto your sons and daughters. Because just because they are the outsiders, people, when God pour his spirit, that integrity, that character, just doing what's right, you're going to just do it because God has put it in you. He's instilled it in you. Like he said. So this is actually to the Israelites. Only this group of people. From the smallest of them to the largest of them. It says, for they all should know me. From the least of them, it says they all should know me. For the least of them to the greatest of them. Whether you the oldest, the youngest, whether you the smallest tribe, the biggest tribe, you're going to know. And even with the Gentiles, he done poured his spirit on many people to see that integrity. So then it says, thus saith the Lord, which give the Lord. So it says, thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divide the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart before me, if those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Meaning, like he said, he gives thus said the Lord, which the Lord gives the sun for light by day, the ordinances of the moon and of the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. So God is the one who allows the sun to be our light for day. He is the one who has commanded the moon and the stars to be our light by night. He is the one who divides the sea and when the waves thereof roar. The sound of the ocean, he is the one. He is the one that created this all. So the day, basically saying, so the day, if those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord. So he's saying, if that stuff ever stop, if the sun ever stop being our daylight, if the moon and the stars ever stop being a light by night, if that stuff stops, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Which means that stuff ain't stopping, so we never gonna stop being his seed, his chosen ones. We never gonna stop being that. We never gonna stop being that. So that's what that means. Nowhere in it does it say you are to abolish the old laws. They said we're doing away with the old covenant, the old agreement. Because many people didn't stop doing it anyway. Many people do still circumcise their sons. But now it's about circumcision of the heart. Getting rid of that extra flesh. Stop going off your fleshly desires. That's what the new covenant is supposed to be about. And once again, it's still supposed to be for his people. Now let's read here. We can wrap this up. Because Jesus said in Matthew, and this is something too, like, don't quote me on this, but I did see somewhere, where they say Matthew, Mark, and Luke, or something like that, the Gospels, they all different versions of Jesus' life. But I realize like a lot of it say the same thing, but there are some differences. And some people say that, so I saw somewhere it was like Matthew is the most the most truthful of the account of Jesus' life. So I don't know when I really get to reading it all, because I just like I said, I've read certain parts of some of the Gospels, but I haven't read all of everything. And for me, I like to read beginning to end. There is no start at the end, start with the Gospels and not understand the beginning, because then you're not going to understand what they're talking about. Because when Jesus is referring to Moses, when the Pharisees and Jesus is having their conversation and all of that, and they're talking about the old law, when Paul is sitting there arguing with the Pharisees too, you got to really even understand what the Pharisees' principles was, the Sadducees, if that's how you pronounce it. You got to know who are these people? Where did they come from? What is their standpoint? So you can understand what they're talking about. Because a lot of what Jesus talks about in New Testament, it's nothing but him confirming things about Old Testament. Even James, what part did I say? I saw there the other day, he was saying something like, doesn't it? Like it said, like they too are referring to what the scriptures say. They are referring to scripture. Even Jesus said to them, doesn't it say in your scripture or in your law that ye are gods? I think it said in your scripture or in your law that ye are gods, when I think the Pharisees was trying to, come down on him for saying that he is God. Jesus was never saying that he is God. That's going to be a whole different video, because how do y'all read this and don't understand what the heck it's saying? I just think it's ludicrous how you can read this and still sit there and then I be hearing these goofballs sit online trying to teach that Jesus is God. And then they be saying that he wanted to show his power by making himself come into human form. And then he went back. But yet, he keeps saying in the text that He keeps referring to his Father. If he is God, why would he keep referring to his Father whom is in heaven? What the freak don't y'all understand? God gave him authority. Jesus had to go through the same goddamn process that I had to go through, that Moses had to go through. He had to go fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. If you are God, you don't have to do all of that stuff. You do that stuff to get closer to God, to go through the motions that God wants you to go through to learn so God can consecrate you. This is the purpose of doing this stuff. That's the purpose of fasting. That's the purpose he had to go into the wilderness season, like many of us have to go into the wilderness season. If you ain't never been into the wilderness season, then you don't understand. So I say some of us is living this out. Some people whole life been a wilderness season because you keep going you just like the Israelites, keep going in the same circle. You're not understanding, you're not learning the lessons of why he's sending you the long way. You're not understanding the reason why you keep repeating the same lessons in life, because it's something that you're not getting. You're not allowing him to consecrate you, because during your isolation season, when he sends you away in the wilderness by yourself, you're not staying to yourself. You're not getting in your word. You're not growing, praying. You're not fasting. You're not doing the stuff. You're not getting rid of your distractions so that you can fully allow God to focus on you, for you to focus on him. You're not allowing that because you're still consuming. But let's read this right quick. It says the fulfillment of the law. This is Matthew chapter 5. And I'm really not meaning to yell, y'all. It's passion. It's like, I just can't believe that people are this dense. It's like, I just can't believe. But Jesus himself said, this is, what did I say? Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 20. The fulfillment of the law. Let me flip to it in my book too. It says, Jesus came to fulfill the law. Right here. Jesus came. Jesus came to fulfill the law. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. And this is why I gotta I have to read everything, and then I be having to read it again. But like I said, I told y'all a long time ago about Paul. And Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin, but it's given, I really feel in my spirit that he is sellout. And it's so funny because I saw somebody else in a comment recently. He was talking about Paul too. I said, oh my gosh, I feel like this about Paul too. But I want to confirm everything with God before I just start speaking everything. But Paul, because it's just, and then people don't even understand that. You got to understand, the book of Ephesians and all of that, Paul is speaking to Gentiles. He's speaking to Gentiles to convert them. So unless you are a Gentile, and I think many of us think that we're Gentiles, so that's why y'all swear by all the letters that Paul wrote to all those European nations. Y'all swear by that because y'all don't know that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. Now, James, and that's why if you read, it tells you who they talking to. It tells you who he's talking to. When I'm talking to one, when you have children, what applies to one child don't necessarily apply to the other child. Some things apply to both. Something is specific to that child. That's how it is with God too. Just like me with my purpose. There's many people out here that do prophecy and do everything, and they're speaking to the masses. They speaking to all the children of God, the foster children and the biological children, the stepchildren and the biological children. Me, I'm speaking to the biological children only. Now, if the stepchildren and the foster children want to watch the videos too, that's on them. But I'm speaking to God's biological children, the one that he chose. Or how about I say even his favorite children? Y'all wonder why narcissism exists with the whole dynamic? This is all God ordained. This stuff is not by coincidence. Like I always say, we are the black sheep of the entire human race. We are. The black sheep are God's chosen ones, his favorite ones. He set them apart for a reason. They have a special calling. They have a special mission. They hold weight. They hold righteousness. But us, a lot of us, we're so busy wanting to go serve other gods, so we be losing our righteousness. But a lot of it is it's embedded in you for real. But because people want acceptance, and because a lot of us have rebellious spirits, like we're going to talk about when we be reading Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all of them, but especially Ezekiel, because God said that to Ezekiel, you're going to tell them this, like he's telling me. You're dealing with a rebellious people. They don't even listen to me. So of course they're going to reject what you're saying. Of course they're not going to listen to what you're saying. But don't have no fear. Say it anyway. Be obedient. But even James, it says James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. So if Jesus is God, why would it keep saying, like, do y'all listen? What does and mean? What does and mean? This and that. Both. That means that's two different distinct beings. And it says that a lot through here, but y'all still be saying Jesus is God. Look at what Lord means. Yes, Jesus was a Lord. He had power. Lords have power. They have influence. But God is the Lord. Like, I don't even know if we read it in here. Like I said, I don't even know if that was him, but the Lord God, the Most High God is the Lord of hosts. He's the Lord of lords. He's over everybody. He's the beginning, the end, the first, and the last. The Alpha, the Omega. There is no God beside him, like he said in Isaiah 45. I am the only God. There is no God beside me. It's hierarchy. Y'all want to know where ranking come from? Rank in your military, rank in your family, rank at the workplace. Rank starts with the Lord. Because he's up here. Everything else is under him. But like he said, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. James came to talk to the 12 tribes, the Israelites. He came to talk to them. His letter was to them. His message was to them. Paul was not talking to the Israelites. Even when Paul was talking to Hebrews. Well, baby, come here. And y'all got to understand that all the Israelites are of Hebrew. Abraham was Hebrew. Abraham is Hebrew. So of course Jacob's sons, the Israelites, are going to be of Hebrew descent. That's his grandfather. Abraham is Jacob's granddaddy. Shoot, before Abraham even died, Abraham died with Jacob laying on his chest. We'll get into that later. It was already ordained for us to be the chosen people. We ain't really no stealing, no birthrights, but for prophecy to come to pass, certain things have to happen. Certain things have to happen. But they'll tell a story from one way. That's why I say, when you read the book, even read Kings and Chronicles, I'm telling you, reading that, it's going to give you insight on how certain things have to happen for the prophecy to come to pass. This is what God says. This has to happen. The way we even got split up, the 10 tribes versus the 2. The Israelites got split into 2 separate houses, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Northern kingdom is the 10 tribes. Southern kingdom is the other 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin. They remained under the house of David, which is Solomon fault in the first place, why it got split up. Because you want to go You get into power like people do. You get into power. Now you be thinking that you can stray away from the Lord your God and your kingdom shall come crashing down. He will take the reign from you. Never think that you so high up on your high horse. Think that you winning so good. You so rich and everything that what goes up must come down. What God giveth, he can take away. Every gift is a gift from the Lord. Every gift. The ability to talk in itself. My grandmother is deaf. She don't have a voice. So you dang on right. I take pride in having a voice and being able to speak up for certain causes. You dang on right. There's plenty of people out here who can't see. So I'm not gonna take advantage. I'm gonna take proper advantage, but I'm not gonna misuse my eyes. I'm not gonna play blind when I can see very well. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to be silent in every situation. There is situations where there is a time, be quiet. You don't need to talk. You don't need to say nothing. But for justice, I'm going to stand up for it. What's right, I'm going to use my words. I'm going to use my mouth because everybody can't use theirs. Some people are deaf mutes for real. And even some people that have voices, they scared to use them. They scared to speak up. And then they run around, but because they don't speak up, suffering continues to happen. Look how many people don't speak up about what's been going on in their family. You keeping things a secret. Now you letting this Chester get around and attack this person, that person, that person. Not even to victim blame, because sometimes even when you say something, the Chester still get around messing with people. Sometimes you get crucified for speaking up, so now you feel like you got to be silenced. So I'm not even going to say that. I don't want to be insensitive about that because I know many people, you speak up and you get silenced for speaking up. And Chester still get to run free and go attack this one, that one, and that one. So I'm not even going to say that. But now, because of that situation, you're silenced now. You don't even believe in yourself. You let people gaslight you. You go because you don't believe in yourself. You don't know when to speak and when not to, because the time that you really was supposed to speak and that you did, or maybe did not, it did you a disservice. It didn't save you. So now you feel like, what good does it do for me to speak up? It ain't going to do nothing. No. God gave you a voice for a reason. I know dang on well he gave me a voice. Like my actress said, oh, you need to be a lawyer. Yeah, because you know I'm standing on facts. You know I'm speaking the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. You already know. Under oath, I will not go down for perjury because I don't lie. The mouth of the wicked lies. Child. But even with that, Paul, you speaking to the Hebrews. That ain't necessarily speaking to the Israelites. Now, don't quote me too much on that because I got to go read everything. But I do know that he was speaking to the Hebrews and trying to get them to conform. And I got to dig into that Paul. I really do, because I really feel like he was a sellout. Yeah, but he do say some good stuff. He do say some good stuff, because I be quoting some of his stuff, especially Ephesians, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. I love that one. So I'm not gonna completely do away with him now, just yet. But as time go on, yeah. But like Jesus said, do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, nor the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Let's run that back. If you don't understand, let's break it down. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, until this existence is no longer existing, until everything in it that God has created is been demolished, until that happens, not the smallest letter, nor the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Not even the smallest letter or the least stroke of the pen will disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Therefore, anyone who sets aside one of the least of these commands and teaches others accordingly will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. In the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees, for I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. And even with that, for I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees or the teachers of the law, meaning your righteousness, if your righteousness don't surpass the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. Because the Pharisees live by the law. They swear by the law. They swear by the law. And I gotta get more into this about the Pharisees thing. Because I'll be saying, why people act like the Pharisees was so bad? But like I said, I got a lot more reading to do. Because even the Pharisees didn't understand some of the parables that Jesus was speaking. And Jesus did extend grace on certain areas where the Pharisees and the teachers of the law would have stoned people like he did, like they tried to do that woman. Because God do give us grace. And Jesus also gave grace because God gives grace. He gives grace so that you can have salvation. All he do, I mean, it's in Old Testament when you read the stories. Some people think these are fables and all that, but read the stories. You're going to get understanding. A lot of you are living these stories. Because when you humble yourself before the Lord, all he wants you to do, he will spare you because he loves you. And when you love somebody, you do give them multiple chances until they keep taking you for granted. That's why I always say, God gives second chances, baby. I don't. So I probably would have been like them Pharisees. I ain't giving her no chance. She's an adulterer. She did that to her husband. Stone her. Because I do believe in justice. So I'm probably actually like a Pharisee. But I don't know why. And then they say that the Pharisees is the one who did that to Jesus. So I got to see more about that. So I ain't about to say I'm no Pharisee. But they're the scribes. The Pharisees are the scribes. Because see, in here it says that of the, oh no, not the scribes. They are, because right here it says that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter the kingdom of heaven. Because one thing about it, the Pharisees and the teachers of law are scribes. So maybe I'm a scribe. And I know I was reading something about scribes. They transcribe the law. They make it easier to write. They are the reason we have the Bible. They translate, but some of them then. But the thing is, who knows? They may have translated it correctly, and other people that got their hands on the text then went in there and switched certain words out. So, but you see how even it's like difference in words from KJV versus here. And here it says teachers of law, but here it says scribes and Pharisees. Just like in here, it'll call them Ethiopians, but in here, it'll call in NIV, it'll call them the Cushites. So that's how I now know that Ethiopians are from Cush. They Ham children. Name. But this video was super long, y'all. But Jesus never came to abolish the law. He said it must be fulfilled. He's not here to change God. God poured his spirit onto him. And that's why I don't understand why people be saying what they be saying. Like, you have to understand what words mean. You have to have comprehension. Then I saw somebody and the girl live the other day, and it was her, the guy and the girl. The girl was like, because the guy said, because the girl had asked the question in the live. She was teaching about algorithms and stuff, but she also be talking about God. And she was just teaching people how to build up their do content or whatever, and to create engagement so that people could make comments in the comments. So she was like, an example she used was, you could like, her asking, do you like NIV version or KJV version? Which version of the Bible do you use? And that started a whole conversation amongst people. So she was telling you that's how to build engagement and build your, platform up through engagement. And then that did her asking just that question. Some people said KJV, some people said NIV, and then they started telling why and all of this and all that. And then the guy was like, you're not supposed to understand. He said, you're not supposed to understand the scripture. And the girl was like, not the girl who was hosting the live, but somebody else in the comments. She was like, she got so mad at the dude because he was saying that. She was like, you are supposed to understand. Why would you read it not to understand it? And a lot of people think that you're not supposed to have understand. Like, but who told you that? It just be like, if you don't understand something, how can you make full use of it? Y'all wonder why we can't have healthy relationships? Because we don't understand one another. You don't get one another, nor do you try to understand where they're coming from because you're selfish. If you don't understand something, this is why a lot of people flunked in school. Can't pass a test because you don't understand what you're even looking at. It's like looking at Chinese writing to you. That's how it is when you don't understand what these words mean, when you don't understand words mean, when you don't understand what symbols mean. If we were still doing hieroglyphics like in the hieroglyphic days and we don't understand what these symbols mean, this is how they deceive us now in the music entertainment industry because they be throwing up symbols. You don't even know what it means. Just like these games use certain symbols to mean certain things, it has meaning. And if you don't know what it means and you throwing up somebody else's set, you don't know how that can get you hurt, how that can get you attacked. Understanding is key to everything in life. God would not want you. He said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. He would not want you to have knowledge if you don't understand. How would you really have knowledge if you don't understand what you're learning? How can you have comprehension? Like, how can you? Like, make it make sense before you get to talking nonsense. It must make sense. Like, this type of stuff must make sense. Everything that God does in your life isn't going to make sense. That's what faith comes in with him. That's what faith comes in with him. But you guys, yeah, that's what he said. Nothing will disappear from the law until everything has been accomplished. God is not a man that he should lie. Whatever he spoke, it will happen. And y'all going to see. Like y'all already seeing. Y'all already see the plagues. So you can choose not to believe. You can choose to say what you want. Know the truth. Do your own reading. Ask God for understanding, clarity. You must seek clarity to get understanding. All of us. There's things I read. And that's why I always pray before I read. I pray before I do the video. God, lead me every morning. Fill me up with your wisdom. Just like I felt it on me. I'm like, I ain't did a video in a couple of days. I started feeling it on me that I got to do a video. I'm like, but I don't even know what to talk about because I'm still studying for real. So it's like, I'm only focusing right now because I know that this is my focus, besides the other stuff that he got me working on. But when it comes to this, I'm not here to teach Christianity. I'm not here to teach this. I'm here to use the book. God led me to this book to learn about who I am because that's what I asked. I asked, why is the Black community so hated? Me asking that question, you add, what does Matthew say in the book of Matthew? Say, well, what does Jesus say in the book of Matthew? Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door should be open to you. I asked, I received. I asked why we're so hated. He told me. He told me. I'm seeking information. He gives it to me. He gives me what I need at the appointed time. Then he give me understanding. And that's what he does. But we don't understand because we don't want to understand. We don't want to understand. We want to go with whatever somebody else says or whatever our ego is being fed off of, whatever make us feel good, which is lies. Then you wonder why. That's why I be saying, especially for men and women. Then you wonder why you get snaked all the time. You wonder why you always get stepped on by these dudes or by these girls, your friends. Because you don't care about what's real. You only want to be told stuff that make you feel good. And then when you find out the truth, you fake butt hurt. But for one, you already knew that this person was lying and manipulating. And the moment you found out the first time, you still want to giving them chances to keep on stepping on you. And then when you broke all the way down, now you blaming everybody else. Now you mad at the world. Like, we got to stop this foolishness. We got to stay with God. We got to really seek learning. We got to seek knowledge because the people perish for a lack of knowledge. And God is our leader. He is with us. Like I said in Chronicles, God is with us. He is our leader. I don't care what nobody say, bro. I'm living. I just still can't believe this is my life. Like I didn't know me asking for my purpose on my vision board. On my vision board from 2021. Was it 2020? 2021, I believe. I didn't know me asking what my purpose was in life and me wanting to know why the world lies about that whole thing on the pandemic, all of that stuff. Me asking these questions, asking why the Black community is so hated. Like, if we at the bottom, why are we so hated? We don't have nothing. Why are we so hated? But we have something. We are the chosen people. We have the Holy Spirit within us. And one thing I say is it don't matter what's going on. I don't care about all the sinning that the Black community does and, you know, the wickedness. Each and every one of us know of God. Might not have a close relationship, but it's been instilled. He's been that the Holy Spirit has been planted. Some people like to push it all the way down because it frightens you. It can be very intimidating. And this is why people be running from their calling, running from, because you don't want to accept what it is. Even me last night, well, this morning, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it real hard in my spirit. Like, I'm feeling it. Like, I literally woke up and it was just plaguing on me. Like, it was just on me. And I'm like, I guess I got to do the video. I was trying to put it off yesterday, but God won't let you put it off. You could keep running from it. You don't want to keep running from it. And then you be trying to do other things, and then you wonder why other things why you can't be successful at other things or really get to where you really, because you running from what you're supposed to do, trying to do something else that you should see somebody else doing. Who knew that I was going to be in this position? This is just the beginning. I already see it now. I'm here to be an activist, baby. I'm here to be an activist. And I'm willing to do it because I don't care. I'll go up against anybody. I'll go up against whoever. Because God got my back. My front, my back, my side, my side. I already know. Who want war is we ready. We ready. God gonna equip me. I already got my helmet of salvation on, my breastplate of righteousness. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. My angels is surrounding me. And I'm covered. It just be amazing to me, this life. I just could never have expected me to be like this. But I always had righteousness in me. That's why I said that stuff is instilled in you. Not like self-righteousness where I'm above everybody or nothing like that, but just morals. Just like, I've always been a person of integrity. I want to do what's right. I don't want to backstab nobody. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie and steal my way to success. I don't want to sell my body for quick money. I don't want to do that stuff. I don't want to exploit myself or exploit my children. Wanting to do things fairly right. It's like I'm not a by the book person when it comes to like society. But when it comes to God, yes. Like for the most part, I'm by the book. Do I still do other things? Yes. But overall, it's that righteousness. And I stay to myself. I'm not pressed to fit in with nobody. I'm not trying to fit in because I just realized like where I'm at. I realized, like I told y'all videos back, I'm different. And I accept it and I embrace it. I'm not with these people who want to abolish the law, abolish the Bible. That's why I feel like I don't have nobody I can really sit and talk to about this stuff but God, because I really feel like I'm just in the middle. You got the spiritual community who they believe in God, but they don't believe in the Bible. Meanwhile, they never even read it. Meanwhile, they swear by everything else that's man-made. YouTube, man-made, Instagram, TikTok, they paycheck, the builders who built their house, they swear by everybody else. But you can't believe in this. And then you got the religious side who they just as goofy, don't even understand, like they want to do away with Old Testament. That's why I'm like, you got the religious folk who want to do away with Old Testament. And then they hold belief on who God is. I mean, on who God is and who Jesus is. I don't align with that. And then I don't fully align with the spiritual community. That's why I got in the spiritual community Facebook group. And I said, oh, to hell with this group. Y'all talking about these things that I know is demonic because I don't have to do that stuff. Literally. All I do is talk to God, pray, fast, and I just have the heart. It's that integrity. Like he said, he gonna put his law in your inward parts. So you naturally, for the most part, just abide by the law. And with the eating and stuff, that's things I had to work on. It's been a long time since I had crab meat. It's been a while. It's been a couple months since I had shrimp. So it's certain things that I'm just still trying to rid out my diet. I'm on 10 days with no junk, defeating that spirit of gluttony. I cannot let that spirit of gluttony dwell on me no more. But it's still other things. I'm never going to be perfect. But my heart, me being a servant for the Lord, me speaking that truth, being the spirit of truth, that's what's in me, baby. I'm going to always stand on business. I'm going to always advocate for what's right. And when the given time, you dang on right, I will get there. I will get it back in blood if I have to. You come against me, come against my children. I ain't sacrificing my children to Molech. I'll lose it all before I give my children away, before I send my children off, before I sell them for $1. I don't play those type of games. I don't play those type of games. I don't steal from my friends. I don't steal from my man. I don't try to deceive people like that. I'm real. And it ain't too many people out here like that. And that's why when you real, you gotta realize that majority of these people out here is fake. They fake. They put on. They put on. Around here, what you see is what you get. This is raw. You could call it judging. Yeah, I'm the judge, like in the book of Judges. Call it what you want. It don't mean that I'm thinking of you less than, but I'm calling out the BS. If it's BS, I'm going to call you out on it. Like, I don't have to agree with everything, and nor do I have to speak on everything. It's a lot of stuff that I don't speak on because I really don't care. But what God tells me to speak on, I have to speak on it because it's wrong. And when it's a mass, the masses is doing this, like this Planned Parenthood mess, Molech. Oh, I just found a picture of that. I'm gonna put that up because when I seen that girl doing that, I said, hold up. I saw this somewhere. The Molech symbol. The Moloch, the fire god for child sacrifice. And then today, I pulled it up. It was one picture, then another picture had Planned Parenthood on there, and the woman offering up her baby to Planned Parenthood. And I already told y'all before, video like a while ago, when that whole overturn of Roe versus Wade thing was coming on. Like, that's why I speak about that all the time, because I don't get, that's child sacrifice, baby. That's child sacrifice. And you must repent for that. All this shedding innocent blood we doing in our cities. Yet y'all wonder why we are suffering. You continue to shed innocent blood. Why? Because you can't control yourself. Your envy for another person, your desire to seek revenge on somebody instead of letting God get to them when he get to them. You feel like he not moving fast enough. Especially when it be like the ones that y'all need to be getting, which is these creeps, these chesters. Y'all don't be getting them. Y'all just be wanting to unalive your homeboy. Not y'all, per se, but if the shoe fit word, you want to unalive your homeboy because he getting more money than you. You want to unalive, like what? And we can't trust one another. You want to unalive an innocent baby because you that reckless that you just let people just nut up in you and you're not on birth control. You're not trying to do no preventative measures, but you okay with somebody keep going up in you to scrape you, like messing up in your insides to unalive a baby? That's weird to me. It's like, okay, if you did it, if it happened once because of, whatever the circumstance, cool. But when you make it repetition, I'm a graceful person too. It's like, okay, stuff happens. And I understand that because I'm not perfect either. I've done stuff too. Maybe not have done that, but I might have done other things that you might not have done. It's like, okay, you get grace. But when you make it a habit and it becomes habitual, now at this point, are you really sincere? Are you really sorry? Did you really feel any way about that? Like, did you really feel bad about it? And this is why God said in the last days in the book of Revelations, he's go to mark the people who really feel away. They really, the ones that got that integrity, that they hate what's going on in the world around them. They really hate it and despise it, and they want to stay away from it. This is why I stay away from people, bruh. I can't get with it. I can't get with the laziness, not wanting to grow, not wanting to heal, not wanting to stand up for what's right. I hate the fact that we're not willing to come together against our true ops. But really, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, God appointed them to be our ops. All of our ops that's in the Bible. He appointed them to humble us, to make us cry out for him. Because when we in bondage, when it get real bad, that's when we cry out to God. When your family members perishing, when you perishing, you want to cry out to God, and as soon as he don't save you at your command because you think he's a genie, he's supposed to do what you want him to do. As soon as he don't do that, now you're upset. And now, he forsake me. Baby, like he said, let's pull that up. Let's pull that up for y'all. Micah. Is that Micah? Micah. I think it's Micah. Yep, Micah 3, chapter 3, verse 4. Let's read that for y'all. It says, then they will cry out to the Lord, but he will not answer them. At that time, he will hide his face from them because of the evil they have done. Wait, Pooh. I'm almost finished. Because of the evil they have done. She always telling somebody no. You want to cry out the last minute. It's not fair to God. And he don't have to be fair to you, but a lot of times he spares us because of the covenant that he made with Abraham, your ancestors. The reason he continued to spare us is because of the covenant that he made. And he is not a man that he shall lie. So if he made a promise, it surely will come to pass. Like Jesus said, until this stuff is accomplished. Ain't no doing away. Ain't no nothing. It won't disappear. It will not disappear until the law, until everything is accomplished, until these prophecies come to pass. For Abraham to even get the land that was promised to him, it had to come to pass for us to be in bondage for 400 years. That's all biblical. That's all biblical. If you're going to say you don't believe in the Bible, if you don't believe in Old Testament, then you might as well not believe in God at all. You might as well not ever read no book. What you reading any books for? Some people don't. What you believing in any of the creation for? Why are you using the creation? Go out here and do something by yourself. Go make your own world. Go grow your own food. Go find your own seeds. You don't need the Lord. You don't need the Lord. You got it all figured out. You can do what you want. You can be rebellious to the Lord. And you got to understand that when you obeying the Lord, you're going to be rebelling against traditions, against society. That's what coming out the world is. This is how he chooses who righteous, who willing to step away from what everybody else doing. You got to just think, if 99% of people doing something that is not leading them to a prosperous life, why would you want to be doing that? Like, why would you want to follow the 99? Like they got us now. The 99 down here is the one that's suffering. Slaves. We the ones that's modern day slaves. Us collectively. Whether you're white, black, polka dot, Hispanic, and it don't matter. We all down here. Like we hearing about all this stuff that's going on. Like we was talking about, we'll leave the world behind. We got to get it together. I done made this video almost how many hours long, but this is just, it's just what it is. We got to stop, you guys. We got to stop. We got to really be intentional. We can't keep sitting up here talking about all this riffraff on the internet, battling against each other. This is sickening to me. And this is why it's harder for as individuals. Like it takes teamwork to make the dream work. But we can't even come together as teams. We can't come together. We can't take direction. Even your top basketball players, they understand how to take direction and take the plays that the coach giving them. Your rappers, a lot of the stuff that they do, it's the people above them. They're managers behind the scenes. They labels behind the scenes that's organizing everything for them. Just giving them the plays. They ain't never had a rapper day in their life. But the knowledge they have of the industry, the knowledge they have of the game, they're able to put people in as puppet masters to do what they need them to do. And as the rappers, when they and the artists and stuff, when they sign these deals, they just listen to what the manager and stuff was saying. The record label is telling them to do. They just listen to it. They just listen. They don't be like, oh, you ain't never rapped a day in your life, so what do you know? They done managed many of you and made many pop stars. They done made many stars. They done gave many deals. They know something that you don't know. That's what we need to understand about God, because he created everything. He created everything. He created the light and the dark. What does it say? What's my favorite? Let's go read it in Isaiah right quick. That's my favorite. Y'all already know I be saying that a lot in my videos. Y'all need to go read Isaiah chapter 45. The Lord alone is God. He say, I'm the Lord and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded you, though you have not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I'm the Lord and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Woe to him that strive with his maker. Yeah, you try to strive against the maker, the creator who created everything. He created the world and then created you. He created your ancestors. He created the trees that make the paper. He created everything. The way that they make ink in your pens to write, to type the words. Yeah, his creation. They get that. They get this stuff from his creation. The white man don't pull nothing out of thin air, baby. Nothing out of thin air. He resourced what source has given him and supplied by the masses. And then we consume it all. And we, even like they be saying, black people built America, not because you wanted to, because you had to. Because you had to be obedient to your master. Ain't because you wanted to. Your grandparents, they ain't want to be out there picking cotton for us to have clothes and everything else that cotton used for. They wasn't doing it because they wanted to. It was like, you better do it, or it's so funny because I gotta wrap this video up. I know it's been long, but whatever. We already long into it. So if you made it to the end, baby, you made it to the end. It is, I gotta talk. I did a video in a minute, so we gotta talk. But the guy on the train, and this is why I'm always a listener. Like, and I don't judge people. Like, I judge. I'm not gonna say I don't judge because certain stuff I ain't with. Because just like the man that I'm getting ready to talk about, he gonna offer me some of that orange that was in his hand. I'm like, no, thank you. I wasn't rude with it, of course, but in my head, I'm like, ew. I don't want no orange out of your hand, sir. And I don't accept things. I don't accept food and stuff like that from people out. Like, not like that. And my kids know not to eat. I don't care if somebody give me $1. My daughter, if somebody want to give her something, she look at me, yeah, for confirmation. You don't accept nothing from these folks. But that don't mean that I'm not listen to you, that I'm not going to talk to you. That don't mean that. That don't mean you could come to my house. That don't mean none of that. But I'm not going to sit there and judge you in a sense where I act like I'm too good to talk to you. I'm too good to listen to you. Because it be some of those that's why I never will discredit homeless people because they have wisdom. A lot of times it's the hardships that they have been through in life that cause them to be in that situation. Sometimes they just choosing that because, less responsibility. It takes a lot of responsibility to manage a household. They can do this and do that and sleep here and sleep there or whatever. But this guy, he served in the war. He was a veteran. And y'all know a lot of veterans be like homeless and stuff because they come home from war and they come home from, and it's a mess. But I don't remember everything he was saying, but it was so crazy that he was just talking. Like, people always do this to me. They just be just talking and I listen to them. I just listen. And he just got to talk about the war, how he was in the Vietnam War, and he got to talk about like and right before he said this, I was already feeling it. Once I heard him say he was in the war, I could only imagine the things that went on because I know how these rulers and I know how these higher ranking people, how they will abuse their authority and they'll have the people under them doing anything wicked, nasty stuff, and even just being cruel to them because of their position. And right before he said this, because he was like that they put he didn't have no choice. He was young. He didn't know no better. He was in the forest, and the guy, I guess one of the lieutenants or their ranking, whoever he was, he put the strap up to his head and told him that you better do what I say, this, that, and he did. I don't know what exactly. Oh, they had to, I think, do something to somebody like harmful. So they be messed up in the head when they come back from all the things they had to do, the things they had to see. Like, that's why a lot of people in the police force, a lot of people in these positions where you got to see a lot, it will mess with your mind. It will mess with your mind big time. Even being in social services, like with CPS and stuff, you see the things that's going on in these homes and stuff. It can mess up your mind. And when he said that, right before he said that, I was just like, I was thinking in my head, like, they probably forced him with threatening him to do some wild stuff. And literally, it's almost like he heard my spirit saying, like, thinking that or something. It's like he was reading my mind, because he came after, right after, as I was thinking it, he came up and said, he was like, some of this stuff I'm telling you, he was like, the CIA, I think that's what he said. He said they'll come and get you, because of me telling this stuff. They don't like when people don't like when you speak up, and they don't like when you do that, and all of this stuff. I was like, you ain't lying. And he got to talking about they're demon possessed and all of this stuff, and I'm like, I believe you. Like, I believe you. I believe you. And that's why even when people going through stuff, it's like, I understand what happened. Like, I get that. Does that mean everything was right? Because people feeling like they have to conform to someone else's authority, and they put them in this tough situation, it ruins you. It ruins you. So, anyways, this video, almost 3 hours long. So let me be done talking. But God, I hope that I've said everything you need me to say in this video. I'm feeling lighter. So I think that I did my job for today. So I'll see you guys in the next video. But I hope you guys really take heed to what has been said in this video. If you stayed to this point, may God bless your soul, and may He heal you from whatever you're going through, and that grace be upon you, as long as you just repent and change up your circles of who is causing you, even if it's yourself, because sometimes we be self-destructing without nobody else around us. But get your mind right. Get your mind right. You pray for whatever it is that you struggle with, and God will help you through it. At the appointed time, He will give you different steps to take, but it's on you. It's on you to take advantage and to listen and be obedient to what He's telling you to do, despite despite how you make anybody else feel, because it's not about them. A lot of times we put ourselves in positions because we worried about other people, what other people going to think, what other people going to say. Meanwhile, they're self-destructing. So if you stay around them, they're going to cause you to self-destruct too. They're going to cause you to perish. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.